Get back, guys.
Here it is. The season's on the line. Two receivers left and right. McCown takes the snap. He steps up. He's all by himself. Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs.
You've got a smile on your face. That must have been.
Never gets old, does it?
That must have been one of many career highlights.
Well, many is the operative word there. There wasn't very many. Okay, so I have to hang on to that one. But I'm so much a Viking now that actually kind of hurt for once.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Did PA just not talk to you when you first came on board?
No, he's done it I think twice now. He's walked up behind me and started the call, and it's unbelievable because it sounds exactly like how he sounds, and we're right back in. The play before I think was like a sack fumble or something like that I recovered, and Emmitt Smith of all people was like, Josh, get up, like he was telling me. So Emmitt deserves a lot of credit for that play, that ball getting snapped, because I was situationally aware, was pretty low as a young player.
Yeah.
And so he did a great job of helping me get up and get going. But yeah, like I said, there's not very many highlights, so I'll hang on to that one. It was a fun day.
Well, I always correct PA too, because it didn't knock the Vikings out of the playoffs. It kept them from getting into the playoffs. They weren't necessarily in the playoffs at that point, but we're nitpicking there. I noticed that we have a couple of things in common, you and I do. First of all, we both played football at a high level. You played college and NFL. I was a fierce pass rushing, Rock of Gibraltar run-stopping defensive lineman and a precise route running and a pass-catching tight end. Now, that was back when I was in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, which was about 50 years ago. But still, I did play football at a high level, both sides of the ball, and you did as well. The other thing is, we both spent time in Huntsville, Texas.
Oh, there you go.
You played for Sam Houston State, the Bearcats. I was there doing 5 to 10. But no, I really was. But it was 5 in the morning till 10 in the morning on KHUN radio, which was the sister station at KSAM. Right. So I wasn't doing 5 to 10 in the prison, though I would say that on the air all the time. I'd go, Dan Cole here on KHUN doing 5 to 10, and I'm thinking some guy in the prison going, you have no idea what 5 to 10 is.
You have no idea. That's right.
Yeah. How did you get to Huntsville? Because that was your last year as a college quarterback, right?
That's right. So I played my first 3 years at Southern Methodist University there in Dallas, also known as SMU, and played there, and before transferring is what it is today.
Right.
Had played 3 years, and back then it was 1AA football or what is it now, FBS or FCS or whatever. I get them confused. But
you didn't have to sit out, right?
Yeah, I didn't have to sit out if you went down. And my high school, one of my close friends from high school was playing for Sam Houston at the time.
Okay.
And said, hey, we got a really good team. We just don't, quarterback position's kind of unsettled, and went down there and had a fun year and played and materialized into me getting drafted by the Cardinals.
Yeah, you had great numbers down there. And I don't know if you know this name, but the longtime play-by-play guy for Sam Houston was Cooter Robertson. Do you know Cooter?
I don't know Cooter, but I know.
Yeah,
I know
who he is, because I thought maybe you ran into him as he's doing interviews and such like that. But I worked with him. I was on the FM station. He was on KSAM, the home of Bearcat football. And that was also, I don't know if you know this, that station was the first place former CBS newsman Dan Rather worked. That's where he got his start.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a Sam Houston kind of claim to fame is Dan Rather for sure.
You talked about not having a lot of highlights in your career, but I think you're underselling yourself a little bit. But I will say this. It's probably easier to name the teams you didn't play for than the teams you did play for. I had no idea you played for a lot of NFL teams in your career.
That's right. Yeah, I did. And on one hand, on a scope of the NFL and what it is, you don't necessarily set out there to play for that many teams, but to get in that number of years and to be able to last that long, I am proud of that. And the best part about it is you get to know a lot of wonderful people around this league and within every one of these organizations. And so I'm really thankful for my time in and time with those 10, 11, whatever count it is. I don't know, a lot of teams.
I think I also saw a note, and tell me if it's accurate and if it still stands as a record. You're the oldest quarterback to make a debut in a postseason game. You were 40 years old the first time you started in a postseason game. Is that correct?
That's correct. I didn't start. It was a few years.
Oh, somebody got hurt.
It was
right?
Carson Wentz.
Yes.
2019 maybe. Got knocked out of that game there at the Link in Philly, and I had to come in the game, and so that was kind of partly not because I hoped to play, but just over the scope of my career, kind of being in situations where the teams were either rebooting, kind of it was a stopgap situation or whatever, and so not having had some playoff experience and success and all those things. And so when Doug and Howie called me about that opportunity in training camp, I had already retired. That was what was most intriguing, is they felt like they had been to the Super Bowl 2 years prior. They felt like they had a good team. So it was really cool to actually get to play in a playoff game,
sure.
After having played all those years. And I share that with our guys. We don't take lightly the opportunity that we got last year, and you don't just roll the ball out there and just go to the playoffs all the time. And I was fortunate to play 18 years of NFL football, and I think I was in the playoffs 3 times.
Yeah.
And so you don't take those things for granted, and every moment you have to embrace and enjoy being out there with the guys and the ability to strive and strain to get to that place. So thankful we got to do it last year, and hopefully build on that this year.
Well, over the course of that long career, I'm assuming there was a point where you never thought you'd go that long, because right in the middle of your career, you're playing the UFL in Hartford, right? Like,
yeah.
What was your mindset at that point? I'm assuming you thought, man, my NFL career's over. Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a tale of two careers, because it's actually 19 total years of playing, and there's kind of 9 years there and then out and playing in the UFL, and it's a different version of the UFL that you're seeing now. But kind of the same types of guys in there, guys that are trying to extend their career. And I really thought, this was it, this was done. So I played that season. The following season, I started coaching high school football there in Charlotte, where we were living, and staying in shape. And then got a chance to go to camp with the 49ers after the lockout, because they had drafted Colin Kaepernick. Players were locked out. They didn't know if he'd be ready to be a rookie kind of backup. So ended up going there, getting cut by them in camp, and then coached a whole high school season, got back into the league with the Chicago Bears, and then did that the following season. So I coached 2 high school seasons there in between, and I think that just gave me wonderful perspective kind of on the second half of my career, of just how thankful I was every day to walk into a facility once you've been out, and that feeling, and then B, just the perspective of coaching, even in high school, the teaching aspect of it, approaching the game that way as a player in my second half of my career really helped me and benefited me, and I played some better football because of it. And so I think that was probably the impetus of me standing here now, is probably where I first realized that I wanted to be a coach.
I got one more question before I'm assuming JJ McCarthy will take over the conversation. But you and I also have something in common. From judging from your Wikipedia page, as long as it's accurate, and you can tell me if it is accurate or not, you and I are both late bloomers. We didn't grow to our junior year in high school. It said you were 5'4" as a sophomore. And so I'm wondering, for me, I wasn't 5'4", but I was 5'7", as a sophomore. I had to quit football because I wasn't athletic enough to overcome the size to fit. So how did you keep playing football when you were 5'4" as a sophomore?
Yeah, I think I have to look at that, because it might have been closer to 5'6". Not that that's a whole lot of difference, but I think my driver's license said that. But you know what? I had an older brother who was not a late bloomer, and who was a very, very successful high school football player, and he was my hero. So I wanted to do everything he was doing, and so really just watching him. I was going to just work hard and try to play, and that's kind of being that size was at that time in high school football kind of confined to playing quarterback only. And so the best part of it is I kept working, and my hands really didn't grow much, they stayed the same since I was 16, I feel like. So it helped me master being able to throw the football with some smaller hands. But yeah, thankful that I sprouted up there between my junior and senior year, got up there, and then I grew an inch in college, and very, very fortunate to kind of grow late, be a late bloomer.
Do you like coaching?
I do. I'm enjoying it. You learn something new every day from these guys, and I think it's very rewarding to join these guys on their journey in pro football, and to hopefully be able to help them along the way as they try create their careers. And so that's the most part, the most fun. And then just being a part of an organization, a team, and a group, and to strive for something, and then to work with Kevin and the guys. It's just I feel very fortunate.
Remind me how long you've been quarterbacks coach here with the Purple?
So this is going into my second year.
Going to your second year. So last year you had the opportunity, obviously, to take Sam Darnold, who was kind of in a career path. You were kind of going. It didn't look like he was third pick overall. He'd bounced around a couple teams, hadn't a lot of success. He comes here and has just a terrific year. How satisfying was that for you as a coach to be a part of that?
Well, it was very, and just from the sense of I was in New York when we drafted Sam. And I remember, kind of watching some quarterbacks for them in the off season and going through the evaluation process. And we had a high feeling of Sam when we drafted him. He started as a rookie. I was his backup. We spent a lot of time together his rookie year. We lived down the hall from each other in the corporate housing there, and so we spent a lot of time together. So we had a different relationship, and I think that made last year even more special because I knew what kind of player he could be, and just obviously paired with what we have here from a coaching, play calling standpoint and the talent around him. I thought he had the ability to actualize his gifts, and he was able to do that. So really, really happy for him. It was a satisfying year.
Did he have a lot of confidence in himself at that point? Did you have to instill that in him, or did it kind of go hand in hand?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think everybody involved. I think it starts from the top down with Kevin and the way that he talks, not just to the quarterback, but to everybody in the building. You guys have been around him. He exudes confidence and makes you feel the best about yourself. And I think he does that, especially for the quarterback, and does a good job of building that guy up and putting that guy in position to utilize his strengths. And so that was kind of, Kevin coming from his end, and then myself and obviously Grant last year, day to day in the quarterback room, just continuing to build into Sam and to coach those things and to teach him this system and all that. I think it all just worked together to bring the best out in all of us.
And you're kind of doing the same thing now again, and this time it's with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, exactly. So you take the things that we learned last year from Sam, coaching in that situation, and for me, I think year two in a system, understanding, ironically, this is the first time in my pro football journey of, I guess, 22 years now, that I've had the same offense 2 years in a row. So this is uncharted waters for me, but I like it. It's kind of nice, and so I think hopefully for us, that'll expedite some of the coaching that needs to go on with JJ from a standpoint of just things I see and how I can better assess, because now I know exactly how Kevin wants this thing done and how Wes wants this thing done, and I can coach the quarterback even better.
Well, I wanted to ask you, is there a benefit to having worked with that many different teams and that many different systems and offensive coordinators and coaches and philosophies? So you kind of you got a full plate. You got a lot of things you can pull from, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the best parts of my story is just the exposure that I've had to so many different versions of football, and there's a ton of ways to do it. And I think the biggest takeaway I always have is that, once you find a sound way, it's just the conviction in which you can teach that brand of football that you're doing. And that scheme of plays that you're running, what conviction do you operate with? How can you transfer that information to the player in a way that makes him believe he can do it, and it makes him believe we can be successful? And I think Kevin and Wes on the offensive side have mastered it. Obviously, Flo and them are crushing it and had on in their respective areas. But for me, also, and along that journey, learning what not to do. Having some takeaways of like, that's not really. That doesn't work like that. That sounds good. Maybe that kind of, whatever sounds good on TV or whatever, but that doesn't work day to day in a quarterback room.
Yeah.
And so trying to take those little things here and there and apply that to our room to get the best out of our players.
We talked about the confidence level of Darnold or lack thereof or wherever he was. From afar, I've never spent any time with him, but it seems like JJ doesn't lack for confidence at all. He seems to be like a real confident kid.
Yes, no doubt. I mean, he's had success at every level he's played at, and I think that builds into that. And especially, you win a national championship, playing at the University of Michigan and all that. I mean, those are those are no small tasks. And so I do think he has every right to be confident, and we want him to be confident. And you see it with the way he throws the football and the conviction he throws the ball with. And you know, our job is to help guide that confidence within our system and utilize that, you know, to help us play good football.
I know you got to run. One last question. What's the limit? Sky the limit for him? I mean, how good can he be, do you think?
Well, just today, what, you know, let's go. You know, the work that we have today, let's go crush today. That's
right.
it.
Okay.
That's you know, don't want to get into to predictions on, you know, who can be what. He's got a talented skill set that we like, and he's got a great work ethic. He's got the things that, you know, you want that player to have at that position, as far as you know, the desire, work ethic, leadership intangibles, all those things. He has those things. He just got to hone them, and like we say every day, just mastering today. Just go out and crush today, and then we'll worry about tomorrow when it gets here. But that's the goal.
Thanks for sharing time with us. We appreciate that. I know you got to get to work, and good luck to you in the rest of your career here with the Vikings on this upcoming season.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
That's Josh McCown. He's a quarterbacks coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. We'll take a short break.